We're
yeah.
3 bans deep already.
I know, and we're gonna be, it looks like they're gonna lock in the Viego. Obviously, this is against triple. Just to go through the bans, we have the LeBlanc. The Thresh, not only one of Diamond's better champions, but also just affects what you can play in the bot lane.
Everyone's been banning Thresh today, right?
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I mean, it's pretty much, it's up there. And then Jinzhao, 100% pick ban. He rarely makes it through.
I'm surprised people like taking Viego over Gwen. I feel like with Gwen, she's always like a win condition late game. Like when you have a Gwen on your team and the later the game goes, you feel really good about that. But you might have to explain to me this blind pick Draven.
This is a surprise.
I don't understand.
To me,
it.
I saw that they did ban the Kallisto, which I think is Neo's best champion. So I like that ban actually against Dig. I'm surprised they're showing the Draven so early without an AD pick on the opposite side. I love the Gwen pickup, obviously. You already talked about her flexibility.
Usually Draven's a counter pick, right? So
yeah.
maybe they know something in scrims that we don't. Maybe Neo's just a monster at catching Draven axes
I mean,
or something.
Yeah.
Well, I personally dislike it. On our side, or my side, I guess, we have the Viego, Lucian, and they're just really strong lanes right now. They're technically still flex picks. I expect a jungle pick here and saving their bot lane for last so that they can really counter the Draven. And this, I guess Gragas could be support picks, right? Is that a thing? Do people still play that?
A little bit.
It's gotta suck, right?
It's not.
I'm betting this is the top side of the map, okay? I'm betting he's the jungler and this is mid and this is top. That's my guess. And I personally like it. I like it more than that so far, just because of the Draven. I feel like it should
It's
get
the
punished.
location of Draven. So I don't hate the Draven pick, but in this draft, so like obviously, Draven Leona, incredibly strong in lane, right? Like this is a bully kill lane. However, to show it so early in draft, to your point, they can go through and pretty much counter what they want to do against this lane. Braum, standard.
So at least it's smart that they picked a support 80 here. They can ban out things that would be strong into it. I don't know necessarily what counters it. I'd imagine FlyQuest is probably gonna go Tristana. I personally like Morgana. I know a lot of people haven't been playing her, but I think she's a very strong counter into Leona, especially when you're trying to win lane with Draven. If you pick Morgana, they just straight up lose the lane, and it helps disengage for later in the game, since Lucian's not gonna go cleanse, Tristana's not gonna go cleanse. But maybe it's just too weak of laning, I'm not sure, but I personally like Morgana. I think she's underrated right now.
Bringing out the Kayn ban against Akaadian. Smart, although, I mean, obviously they might flex Gwen into the jungle. I would probably prefer her as top, but I know Akaadian can play Gwen jungle as well. Bringing out Rakan makes sense as for this bot lane. I'm really curious to see what Fly are going to bring in their bot lane to try to challenge this.
I wonder what Dignitas is gonna do. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a Gwen top. So then I wonder what they wanna do for mid lane. Do they wanna do like a backline mage mid, like an Orianna / Victor or Ryze kind of deal? Since I don't see Ryze being banned here, if I'm not mistaken, and it's pretty good into Lucian. I think if they did a Ryze here, it'd round out their comp really well and make it really strong. Whereas on FlyQuest, I'd love to see Tristana Morgana or kog'maw Morgana. I would take that too. But I feel like if you pick kog'maw without cleanse into that comp, and you don't have like a good peeling guy, you're probably gonna die a lot, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I imagine it's
incredibly unlucky.
Flash
You make the most of the kog'maw passive, you know?
Right. Morgana would be perfect here. Lulu, Tahm, Kench.
No, we're Kench.
If I'm not mistaken,
support.
You can't eat pre-6 anymore, right? Like you can't eat your.
Yeah, it's just 6. I'm a big fan of the solo lane Kench. I don't like him as much support now.
Could it be Gragas support, Tahm, Kench top, and Viego jungle? Are they like mind gaming us right now?
I'm actually really curious.
Because that's possible, right?
My guess is it's just going to be Viego top.
I don't know. I feel like Tahm Kench is a solo laner now, right?
Lucian's definitely mid, I know that.
Right. And then we have Kindred.
Kindred, so Volley top, Gwen mid?
Yes. How do you feel about
Kindred
this?
mid? No. I am not sure about this.
I've seen it play top lane, Kindred top. I haven't really seen it mid. Maybe it's like a counter pick into Lucian. Yusui does like playing unorthodox champions relative to the other mid laners in the league.
Yeah, I was fully expecting like a Rise or even something like the Sylas, which we've seen him pull out. Like typically what Dig have been doing in their drafts is they've been going like 3 melee top on their top side with him on stuff like Sylas, Lee Sin,
Yeah, so it's Kindred mid since it's past 20 seconds. It's locked in. That's pretty cool. That's something
neat.
You
know what? Let's see it. I actually do not know how the Lucian Kindred matchup goes. I imagine it's not fun for Kindred.
Quick, we have 5 seconds. What team comp do you like better? I like FlyQuest.
FlyQuest.
All right, is that because the Kindred mid?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think she's gonna have mid priority, sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone call me out on Twitter if I'm wrong. I honestly do not know the matchup, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. So let's go back to Pastry and Crumbz for the call and see what they think of the Kindred mid.
Hello. Well,
What do you think of it?
I'm curious. Let's put it that way. I will say, as a long-time viewer of Yusui's play, especially in Academy, I know you and I have a lot of experience with him as a player. His general champion pool is very wide, and his AD carries are actually very impressive. The main one, though, is Kai'Sa, when Kai'Sa was really OP. Yeah. So I don't know how this one's going to go, because Kindred's not on too many radars, even as a jungler, let alone as a solo laner. But you know what? If anyone's going to pull it off, Dig have been at least very creative in their drafts, which I really like. But how this particular one works, I'm not sure about. The Yasuo one, loved that draft. This one, I'm I have many questions, and now I'm excited for answers.
There is such a thing as a champion pool that is too wide. And I think we might be over the limit here with the Kindred in the mid.
Sure.
I am not a fan personally.
You've been buying too many champions.
Yeah,
you
exactly. You gotta keep that a little more narrow to actually fit in the lanes that League of Legends asks you to play. So I do think that Triple will have priority in this lane if he plays with his piercing light range. That's pretty much it. Now, the thing about Kindred mid is that it truly requires you to play with your jungler more than anything else, because you're not going to be pathing around the jungle as often as you would be being a jungler. So you need to team up with Akaadian a lot and have Akaadian either feed you the camps or you being able to push up your lane and then rotate over. The good news about Kindred mid, though, is that you do get access to a lot more action by virtue of being in a lane. And so you can get stacks on your lane opponent, on the jungler that tries to gank you. So it's going to be action-packed, because there's no other way for this Kindred to work against double range. That is her biggest weakness here. Against double range champions, you need to get those stacks early, or else you are going to suffer. Yeah,
Volibear also a decent ganking jungler as well. Maybe not the absolute best, screams out at level 2, ganks the mid lane, but there's definitely some pressure that Akaadian can apply, so I agree with you that we will need to see them team up, most likely to be successful. Also of note, great Zenith played there on the bottom side onto Aphro, ignites down as well. Tomo in a big spot of bother, but Neo's also getting the business from Diamond, but he's going to have to flash away.
Neo with the Halo Blades is real strong, and despite Tomo having it too, the fact that Aphro gets to jump on FlyQuest early too. Ooh, look at the range on that. Almost in turret range for Aphro, just knowing exactly the limit. A little bit closer, and that would have been a terrible trade for Dig that would have conceded pressure.
Oh, he dodged the piercing light. That was such a nice sidestep from Yusui. And now he's just getting in there, but Lucian's pretty powerful.
See, that's the danger though, because you're dealing with a Predator jungler on NXI, and so you have to be using your dance of arrows aggressively to dodge out on Lucian.
Oh, good. Ooh, into the tower. Cleanse out there for Tomo. No ignite, of course, this time. Neo looking low, but the damage isn't quite enough. The axe won't get it, but Diamond is trying to finish off the kill. That is a very fortunate level up there as Tomo! He flashes in for first blood. W out of Diamond. Aphro is going back and forth. And there's the double kill for Tomo. Gets the passive for the dub.
FlyQuest will take that any day of the week. All starters gone.
Wait, why is Yusui winning mid lane?
Yeah, all right. We don't know. I guess we don't know anything about you.
Wait a second.
In the bot side, though, kog'maw getting 2 kills is huge. That is a tremendous advantage, because now with the Vamp Scepter purchase, you're going to be able to stay in lane and take some bad trades and still not be pushed out. So despite the aggression that Aphro and Neo will want to pump out, it's just going to allow kog'maw to tank it up and then continue on his merry way.
All right, here we go again.
So they know that Tomo has chucked through his potions, and the Zenith Blade does get turret aggro. Lucky for Aphro, he does have Aftershock proc for that turret to actually go through, but then FlyQuest ends up hitting level 2, And so as they sidestep back in, thinking that they can get Diamond, there already is the ooze on the ground.
Yeah, we don't have time. TP coming in for FlyQuest here on the bottom side. Diamond going to miss the dive, but it is going to be Kumo reinforcing here, and now going to chase. Oh, what a stun! Flashes in for it there, looking like a kill on my screen as Aphromoo is low, but Neo defending his support. Now Akaadian rushing back through, finds a stun. It's going to be a kill on my screen, but it's the other side as Draven's cashing in.
They overcommitted to that play. It was fine to defend it, but then FlyQuest was thinking, hey, we've got a top laner here. We don't just want to get a TP defend. We want more. We want blood. And by flashing everybody, they disrespect that there's a Volibear and a Draven just auto-attacking you relentlessly.
Don't get baited. No, Akaadian's still here. He's got his flash. He's going to flash Paul Tomo. The stun is there. It's just so easy. Such a good wrap from Akaadian to regank there.
This is looking like one of my games. Just someone is dying and they cannot stop it. They are just bleeding out.
Wait, so which jungler are you?
I am the Gragas that is just chilling around, just telling me, hey guys, can we stop fighting? I don't have my Predator boots just yet. I'll be right there. So NXI will try to see if he can make his way to the bot side anytime soon.
All right, well, as a reminder, if you do got some weekend errands to run and don't want to miss any of the matchup, you can check out the audio-only cast of the games through League Day. Tune in there or stick with us here because, honestly, there is just so much League action right here on screen and just about everywhere you can look, especially if you look in the bottom lane.
I think the problem is if you tab out, you're going to miss something.
Yeah,
you're going to miss something important. So let's see, because Tomo gets pretty far away. He wants to make sure that he's out of range of the Zenith Blade, and then this miss is pretty big, because had that connected, Aphro would have died for sure. And then the problem here is that when the commit onto Leona happens, there's a minion wave coming, and kog'maw just can't follow up. You don't have that extra range on your Bio Arcane Barrage at just level 3, so he doesn't have the range or the damage to go through with it. You actually do see Volibear path a little bit far back.
I see him again.
And the wave is crashing. It's a cannon wave. So
it's coming to you. Just wait.
Yeah, you should have just waited.
All right, well, punish there for the greed. Really nice stuff there for Dig. Akaadian was like, oh, they're staying? I'm staying too.
Easy.
Top side there. Where's the first Kindred mark crab, by the way? That's what I've been trying to keep track of, but it's been tricky. Looks like going top side there. Akaadian going to give one away. Perhaps Sarah's Diamond and Tomo is still fighting. NXI down here as well onto the Dragon.
These knockouts from Diamond just look like a dolphin just having fun in the water, not really aiming at anything, just trying to whoop, go in and out, because none of these have landed, and I think they would have been pretty significant had they actually connected.
It is a very slow channel, but very effective if you can hit them.
From seeing Revenge and how well he played it, now I have that expectation.
Oh no, NXI caught at the buff, and unfortunately for Yusui, well, I guess he's not going to get the extra mark, but he'll take the kill certainly, as that is some extra gold.
This is what we wanted to see. We needed to see the Volibear and the Kindred team up together to find jungle invades. And here it happened again because they have pressure in the bot side. It's so easy for them to invade, knowing that Neo and Aphro will always be able to help.
Oh my god, red buff,
yeah.
Kindred. That's
it's
so
bad.
filthy. All right, we did get the mark, by the way. You were right. Akaadian actually gave up that crab for that first mark, which is
generous.
Extremely generous for a jungler, but he's going to get the Dragon, Ding level 6, and Dignitas off to the races. 1,600 gold ahead here, 7.5 minutes through.
They look so much better when they actually come up with unique champions. Because when they try to play standard, it always looks like they really struggle to find an advantage against their opponents. But yesterday with the Yasuo comp, the first Kayn game, and now with the Kindred and the Draven, they just look like they play unorthodox champions so much better than what is meta. And that's okay, because someone has to do it, and it's always exciting to see just how far you can push your champion pool and if you can actually execute on them. And so far, I mean, I thought the champion pool was too wide. We still have to see how this game pans out, but if you can play Kindred and consistently win Lucian matchups, that's a pretty fine strategy. Lucian is very hotly contested right now.
And they're doing the extension you said they needed to, which is play together as a duo with the mid jungle, right? In some ways, it's almost like, you know, is the coach like basically forcing you to like play with your jungler and like train your fundamentals without you knowing about it? Are you getting Miyagi'd? But Yusui right now, oh man, this looks good. Haven't really seen it take over this yet, but Triple, especially against his red buffs, having trouble. FakeGod an isolated 1v1 is feeling good, taking plates for himself. This is definitely a matchup we've seen a lot of. In my opinion, this is a skill matchup. But top lane has definitely been looking good for FakeGod getting those extra plates early.
It's a skill matchup, but it doesn't take much skill to use Ignite. And that's what FakeGod's been using to win this one thus far. Because normally when we have seen this, Kumo or the Viego would have ended up taking a Ignite of his own just to be able to match the Gwen. But because Gwen now has it, and both of these champions do depend on their healing against each other, the Ignite advantage is just too large. So FakeGod can consistently shove up, and that ends up in 3 winning lanes for Dig. So they can take this Rift Herald, only rotating Aphro and knowing that there's no counterplay from FlyQuest.
And Akaadian is just high-tempo gaming right now. Straight to the top side now. It's FakeGod's time to get a bit of a lane lead. In fact, they can probably take this tower out fully. Yeah, they're going to get the half plate they need. Draven ulti touch short there for Neo to try and clear the wave.
Big man Gragas body blocking. So still going to be the first turret taken down for Dig. And I don't think that FlyQuest can actually take a tier 1 right here with the wave. The Tahm Kench will be basing, so they can just come back and they'll only miss out on a bit. So a trade of gold ends up in Dignitas' favor.
All right, good damage again to the secondary. Always nice to get it if you can. Perhaps it up for later for the second Herald if the push keeps happening. Well, it's so much extra gold you can probably get, you know, in the mid game. So it kind of gets the extra credit there on that first Herald. FakeGod going to have a big individual boost of gold there as a result of that play. And Yusui still going here. Only 1 stack, going to take a while to get to 4 this game for the Kindred, but especially as team fights open up more, Yusui is very likely going to be involved in those, so should help him hopefully stack a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems with the Kindred is often the mana in the lane when you're trying to spam abilities. In the jungle, it doesn't matter since you have the regen and occasional blue buffs, but it looks like he'll be rushing an Essence Reaver just to deal with that, so probably it's going to be some sort of crit build out of Yusui, which with double marksman and against no major tanks, since Tahm Kench support isn't really that tanky, there will be a lot of explosive damage on Dignitas' side.
All right, well, let's take stock of where we are now. Minute 30 until the next dragon is up. That would be Dignitas' second if they can grab it. They themselves are up almost 2,000 gold, but not quite yet, as the Essence Reaver is indeed done. Crumbz, Yasui's going to TP back to mid, as Aphromoo with the ulti and the flash and the ignite already. Triple does have flash of his own, but is potentially set up here as Yusui is going to push the lane in. And NXI, oh, he's going to get caught in transition. Such a good play for Dig to just lie in wait for the jungler.
It's so hard to play jungle when all your lanes are losing, when all your lanes are getting shoved in, nowhere is safe. And so now Dig can get so much done. That was another mark, right?
Yep.
That was another mark for Yusui.
Oh, he has 3?
That 3 now. We didn't really see where he got that third, or the second one rather, but that is looking really good. This is faster than most Kindred jungles.
Neo fighting Tomo. Slightly different from the movie, but Tomo does get devoured. Diamond has access to that now.
Great movie.
Great
Absolutely.
movie.
One of my favorites. If you haven't seen it, you have to go see it.
If we don't know, just Google.
There's a lot of young kids right now that haven't seen it.
That's true.
They really haven't seen it. They talk about the simulation, but they don't know. They don't really know.
They don't know. All right, 15 seconds till the dragon I mentioned is up. Looks like it is going to be Dignitas here, and Yusui always invading. And again, remember, there's always extra credit for these team fights or skirmishes if Yusui finds his mark and gets that 4th stack. Or if, you know, the dragon has the
What's
mark.
Triple supposed to do?
I don't know,
The
man.
jungle just keeps giving red buffs over to Yusui, and so now he has to lane against Kindred with red every single time because Volibear and the bot lane continue to invade. Now this is a TP and attempt, but it's so late. Dig doesn't have to take this. They can just run away.
And Dignitas will just run. They maybe considered engaging there. Both top laners do have TP. Oh, they found one! This is the one they want! Yusui trying to pick him off. There's the stun. Yusui is going to make it happen. They can dive this easy. They got Kindred ulti, and that's the 4th mark, and now NXI is coming out, but Akaadian only 1 knockback as Yusui still going to keep fighting. Now TP's coming in. Kumo is going to move into the fight. NXI here with Diamond and Tomo. It's a 4v3 right now, but it's only temporary. They're going off for it. They're going to try and make the play happen. And now they're going to chase in onto Tomo. Great thing to play it out of. Aphro's going to grab it. FakeGod is going to get that kill. Neo's going to grab the second. He cashes in because we've got multiple stacking mechanisms here, Crumbz.
Cha-ching for Dig, and now there's another one.
And XI can only give the thumbs up as it's cha-ching once again. Neo finds the double.
Dignitas is just crushing this game. It's looking like the one yesterday with the Yasuo comp out of them, but even faster than last time. 4 stacks for Kindred, cash outs for Draven, stomps in the jungle, invades, they get the TPs, so many summoners, only Diamond has flash now, so they can continue to chain these plays. Triple, there's no respect for Dignitas. You needed a flash right there before Dignitas actually connected that stun. He goes down, and then NXI just can't stay in here. The Kindred will kill him, and Yusui still has ultimate, so that's why Akaadian can feel confident with Vision on 3 members, saying, hey, bot lane is following me up, Gwen is already here, worst case scenario, I trust Yusui to keep me alive, and he does.
There's so many circles on the ground.
Right?
But it's all Dignitas at the end of it all, as Neo even finds a second kill. I mean, this is an easy cleanup here. I mean, NXI knows what's up.
Thumbs up. He knows. He knows there's no chance, and I like that Akaadian throws in the smite. He wants to get some of that money as well, so gets an assist on that one, keeping up his KP. So 2-0-6, being part of more kills than anybody else, and this is why he continues to get pogs when Dig wins. Just so consistent around being the playmaker for their lanes.
Yeah, just gets it all done. Doesn't matter the lane, doesn't matter the jungle matchup, doesn't matter if it's, ganks and tanks versus, something like a Kang, which is more of a carry, or the hard farming jungles. Akaadian just very well integrated into this team in a very short amount of time, which is super impressive, both for the squad as a whole and for himself as an individual.
I think a lot of the players that end up taking some time away from the LCS, and oh, wait a minute, before that, Triple is...
No flash, remember, but not going to get slowed. There's the dunk. They can turn the tower off twice here. Yusui has the ulti ready, not even going to need it. Lost Auto is good for it, as Yusui finds it again.
Now with the extra range on Kindred, this is just so hard for Triple. It has gone from bad to worse, and now there is another Rift Herald. What is Kindred mid? It is a pick in League of Legends. Good question there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a deeper answer for you, but I love the question.
I
Keep
felt
it
like that's something that my mom would ask. She overheard me cast. Like, what is Kindred mid, Crumbz? Like, oh, it's a pick in League of Legends. Like, oh, okay, thank you.
All right, bottom side, it's FlyQuest trying to get something done here. No towers to them just yet. They are woefully behind in gold. Good golly.
Good grief, yeah. I mean, it's so far ahead that you didn't even pop the Rift Herald for taking the tier 1 mid, right? That is how much gold Dignitas has over FlyQuest right now. And they don't have strong comeback mechanics, Pastry. They only have a Gragas to actually playmaker. This is the danger of the Tahm Kench pick. If you don't win and win harder as a support, you're just not a good engage. Yeah, you have that knockup, but it is not as reliable as a Nautilus, as a Leona, an Alistar, etc. And so FlyQuest being this far behind, it's a huge problem coming into the mid game.
Yeah, continue to have questions about Tahm Kench support. I do think it can be good. I think, again, as we've heard, I think from AD today and just in general, probably want more aggressive lanes, although I guess kog'maw can be played aggressively. They did try and do that, but unfortunately Akaadian, of course, was the one to punish them for their transgressions.
I think as long as you just have enough playmaking elsewhere, it's fine. Obviously, he's very strong with a lot of gold, but I always look at compositions as wanting to have avenues to come back into a game if things go south, because you can't guarantee yourself winning every single early game, every single lane. And so if you don't have multiple ways to engage, whether you're ahead or behind, it becomes so much harder to pick the enemy in situations where they are overstepping. And so you can't find the plays to claw yourself back into a game. And this red buff belongs to Dignitas.
Goodness.
It has always belonged to Dignitas, and it will never belong to FlyQuest again.
And the nice thing is when you own all the jungle, it is much easier to get Kindred marks, regardless of whether you're mid or jungle. Bottom tower goes down as well. That's 3-0 now in turrets for Dignitas. That is 8,000 gold ahead. There is an Ocean Dragon up. You might not know it because Dignitas don't really care right now. They're busy pushing lanes.
They'd rather just continue to just suffocate FlyQuest here because they know that there's no action happening.
Yusui's doing it. He's going to Moonlight as the jungler with no smite for a second. Akaadian there, pop the Herald bottom side. Looking for that secondary money. Not going to grab it just yet, but Yusui's going to be good for the Dragon. And Dignitas just can afford to push multiple lanes, take multiple things off the map at once. And FlyQuest said it's going to be hard going to try and stop them here.
Yeah, it is going to be sad because I was on the FlyQuest hype
I'm still on the FlyQuest hype train.
Really?
I'm running out of fuel.
I mean, it is exciting because
I've lost the
still
carriage.
in the play, right?
You know,
You're like,
a
you know
wheel's
what?
kind of.
I gotta get in there. You know, maybe the luggage is lost, but I signed up for this trip. No matter what, I'm committed to going the distance. And there is still hope for playoffs, right? Because Golden Guardians did not win today. They are still one game behind them. So FlyQuest need to find wins if they have any chance of actually separating themselves from Golden Guardians and continuing that spot. Although CLG surprisingly is still in it too. So this 3-horse race at the bottom is shaping up to be one of the most exciting parts of playoffs.
Certainly is, but right now it is all Dignitas all the time. And that's Aphromoo going in. He's been so good on this Leona, by the way. Been very consistent in the last few weeks, I feel like. Tomo insta-cleanse is very nice. There's the Devour, but a very necessary one is Diamond. Now going to be dead, and they can dive if they want to. As a reminder, they have both Volibear and Kindred ult.
Yeah.
Towers are not real when those are available.
That's what Dignitas love. Just that the party never stops. That there's nothing that can tell them, don't keep going. You can continue to engage as long as you've got the damage. Here comes the play onto FakeGod. Doesn't have Flash or Ghost, but it's a Lucian TPing into you. That is not a scary champion to deal with.
Now, if he had Sorolda's Grudge, I would feel differently. But I agree, that kind of play, I mean, Fly have to do something. But unfortunately, it's just trying to find trades and overload different parts of the map because they're not winning any sort of fair fights because the fights are just not fair. Neo going unstoppable. The tower's been home record, and Dignitas are going to take it down as well.
My goodness. When Dignitas play well, they stomp. I think that's what's making this team still exciting because being middle of the pack, I think that contesting with IMT and the quality of win from IMT, I think, ends up being a little bit lower than Dignitas towards the second half of the split. Whereas for Dig, when they're winning, it is just not close for the enemy. They just obliterate you. Yesterday with the Yasuo, it ended up being a similar scoreline, and here, there just doesn't feel like FlyQuest have a way back because Dignitas have been taking so much and have not been shy from just seeing a FlyQuest member and throwing everything at him.
And I will admit, I am not well-versed on Kindred item builds in either lane, especially in mid lane. But Gale Force seems like a good one. It's definitely the most fun one.
Yeah.
Definitely the one that maximizes your ability to dissolve your opponents.
So from the jungle, you usually do see the Kraken Slayer if you're up against a lot of tanks, but against squishies, when you want that extra mobility to cut the range down, I think Gale Force is a lot better. It gives you that extra mobility as well. And that BF sword will probably be an Infinity Edge. It could be a Guardian Angel if he wants to get fancy with the revives, but I think that most likely it'll just be an increase in DPS. So just dash into someone, and you can just two-shot on AD carry before they even get in range of you.
How many marks does Yusui have? I think he has 6, if I'm guessing correctly. We'll find out in a moment. But for now, it is Dignitas just kind of setting up around this Baron. It has spawned. We are at that portion of the game. And Yusui has plenty of control here over the top side. Also has his team near him. So it is FakeGod playing weak side right now, but he's actually moving over to his team so they can start this Baron.
Yep, you're right. 6 marks. They clear out the ward, and now they can just turn. They know it's happening, and FlyQuest just doesn't know how to approach this fight. They're going to have to walk in, Diamond and NXI going.
And Afro again already on it there, pops the W as well. Damage is pretty high on Tomo's side. Finds the snipe, bolty out of NXI, is going to knock him back, but they're just going to go straight back in for it. That choke point looks very scary as FakeGod is popping off in the midst of all the fight. And now Kumo's over the top, but FakeGod's already taken down triple. Yusui's going to flash over the wall to find the snipe on another and make it 2 for 1. Dignitas will take that trade.
You know, if the gold was even, I feel like that would have been the fight for FlyQuest to turn this game around. But unfortunately, it is far from even. Dignitas have 12,000 gold up, and so despite Afro dying right away, they can just continue to tank FlyQuest, throw these AD carries into the mix, and they just melt Fly. So let's take a look at what happens, because initially the thing is, when Afro's going in, you do have double marksmen, so they do have a hard time following up if they're not already auto-attacking. And so FlyQuest is thinking, hey, we got a 1-man down, we can keep going in. But now FakeGod joins the mix. He puts down his own circle. There's a lot on the ground happening, right? You thought that the Kindred and the Gwen and the Volibear were enough. Well, now there's the Viego, then there's more circles from Volibear, and I might as well draw another one when we get the chance just to join the party, because we gotta let people know what's happening.
All right, so if you are wondering, / you may have tuned in late, this is the Ocean Soul. Dignitas are lining up to take a very fast soul here, and NXI is trying to find a way in. Not going to find it though, and now the fight can begin. Yusui looking over the top of FakeGod's popping off. Neo finds a snipe for the ulti. FakeGod just snipping him to bits, and Dignitas can do no wrong.
They're going to end the game right here. You've got a cannon wave. You've got multiple AD carries. This should be it. Probably their most convincing victory of the split. This is exactly when you want to see a team ramp up. 2 games won this week where they obliterated their opponent.
Yep, might end the game in the Red Bull Baron buff if they can afford it. Akaadian again just going in towers. They don't exist. Tomo's going to get melted. And they're going to cap it off with an ace. No, NXI is going to shut that ship down. But the Nexus is going to be theirs as Dignitas are going to win in style.
Dang, that is one win that they really needed because it will now keep them 1 game away from IMT, making it so much harder for them to lose that 6th place spot, which will ensure that they start in the regular bracket. Not the upper bracket, not the lower bracket, but right in the middle, so you have that extra life. And from the way they're playing these games, I'd be happy to see them get an extra chance, because if they can come up with these creative compositions and execute on them, whether it's against 100 Thieves or FlyQuest, that's a playoff contender.
Yeah, such a fun team. And this is definitely, as you said, I think one of the more convincing games. As you said, I feel like the wheels are starting to get a little rickety on the FlyQuest hype train. I still think they're a super fun team to watch, but it does feel like teams have started to figure things out. They do go for a lot of plays, and unfortunately that doesn't always work out. But hey, they've still got the fighting spirit. Definitely a team that we'll be looking for, because again, the last week of the regular season this summer is going to be pretty wild as far as who makes what position in just about all the different playoff spots.
They are 1 game ahead from Golden Guardians, and both teams have been struggling. So whoever can find the spare wheels to attach onto the wagon and ride it all the way and still keep down CLG, that will be the team to make it.
All right, well, the trend is continuing. The player of the game is none other than Akaadian on the Volibear. And he is kind of like the glue that really puts this team together, right? Every wild draft, every like different composition, doesn't matter what lane, doesn't matter what champion, Akaadian stitching it together.
I could have seen an argument for maybe Yusui, but the ganks in bottom that started were Akaadian. The invades were Akaadian.
That first crab?
Akaadian. The engage is right, donating over the jungle. Some players will die for a crab and they don't even get it. Akaadian gives it to his teammates.
All right, well, definitely impressive stuff there. We are stepping away there, but on the other side, we'll be wrapping up the day